Jeff Bezos is the third richest man in the world, with almost $170 billion to his name. And as we all know, the biggest problem that billionaires have is what to do with all that money. In this video, we'll be looking at all the ridiculous things that Jeff Bezos has spent his billions on, going from wacky obsessive hobbies to downright questionable purchases. Strap yourselves in for the long haul because, who knows, maybe Jeff Bezos already spent millions to buy you. Number 1. The 10,000-year clock. First off on this list is one of Jeff Bezos' weirdest obsessions. The 10,000-year clock, sometimes called the clock of the long now, is actually just as it sounds, a clock that's meant to run for 10,000 years on its own. But as boring as that sounds, this clock is actually a mechanical marvel. Unlike normal clocks, this clock has a custom-built mechanism that ticks only once a year. And considering how long 10,000 years is supposed to be, the clock had to be free from external influences that could damage its internal mechanism. So to save it from external factors, this gigantic clock was constructed inside of a mountain in West Texas. And before you ask, yes, the mountain is also owned by Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos built this clock as a reminder to himself to be considerate of the actions in the present, because these same actions could have an effect that ripples years into the future. This clock was meant to outlive Jeff Bezos as one of his lasting legacies, counting each year like a second to make the years more impactful. In other words, Jeff Bezos spent his money on the world's most expensive motivational poster, just because he could. All in all, the manufacture of this clock cost him a hefty $42 million. Number 2. Whole Foods Market. Speaking of decisions that could leave lasting effects on the future, Jeff Bezos is a well-known advocate of healthy lifestyles. One of his investments into healthy living involves the purchase of Whole Foods Market, a grocery store whose main focus was on healthy eating. Now, we're not talking about a single grocery store here, we're talking about every store thereafter. That's right, Jeff Bezos bought an entire grocery chain just because they, quote, made healthy eating fun. Although healthy living is a good thing, this was also during the time Amazon Eats, Jeff Bezos' attempt to enter the grocery industry, was flopping. It's obvious by now that the Whole Foods Market purchase is actually now acting as a stepping stone into the grocery industry. A hefty benefit considering he dropped an approximate $13.7 billion on the purchase, an investment that is sure to pay dividends in the future. Number 3. A 3-story New York penthouse apartment. People deal with breakups in different ways. Some of them cut their hair, others party with friends, but Jeff Bezos had other ideas. During his divorce to Mackenzie Scott in 2019, Jeff Bezos decided he wanted a change of scenery, so he threw $80 million at a New York apartment. New York apartments are notoriously pricey, which makes this purchase a whole lot more expensive. A 3-story penthouse apartment at the heart of New York, this apartment was made to impress. Fitted with pristine wooden and marble floors throughout the house, coupled with an amazing outdoor patio and dining area, Jeff Bezos made sure the apartment looked like it was $80 million. The design wasn't the only thing impressive with this apartment. The sheer scale of it is impressive too. The kitchen itself is as big as a modest apartment in New York, and the living room might as well count as 2 apartments. 12 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, a personal ballroom, library, and elevator. What else could you want? But as amazing as this apartment sounds, it isn't the only house he has. Number 4. The museum. One of the perks of having money is that you get to buy anything you want when you want it, and you're basically allowed to do whatever you want with it. One of the things that caught Bezos' eye was a historic textile museum in DC. The museum had an amazing brick exterior with cream marble trim, spanning across 27,000 square feet of land. But instead of buying the museum for the sake of funding and improving it, he instead decided that this expansive museum was worth turning into his own private home. After shelling out a large sum to the tune of $23 million, he then began renovations on the museum. The renovations include 11 bedrooms, 25 bathrooms, 5 living rooms, 2 elevators, and even a solarium at home. Why would you need 11 bedrooms for a family of 6? We may never know. Number 5. Gulfstream G650ER. Jeff Bezos is a businessman. Moving around the world from business meeting to business meeting is part of the job. That's why Jeff Bezos wanted the best of the best. He wanted to travel by Gulfstream G650ER. This private plane is manufactured by Gulfstream Aerospace as one of the fastest long-distance vehicles ever. These private jets are known for their advanced avionics, high-speed capabilities, and luxurious amenities. It's capable of handling long-distance flights without the need for a layover or any other delays that would otherwise lengthen the travel time. The plane would set Jeff Bezos back by $65 million, and that doesn't include the money he spent decking out the interior. Number 6. The Washington Post. Back in 2013, Jeff Bezos would purchase the Washington Post for $250 million. This was a large purchase, especially when you realize that Bezos purchased the company under his own name and not for Amazon. Maybe it's because having the world's largest online marketplaces be in control of the news would raise quite a few eyebrows. But thankfully, Bezos' ownership wasn't at all to the detriment of the company. The Washington Post has undergone digital transformation and implemented changes to adapt to the evolving media landscape. Bezos has high standards when it comes to accurate journalism, and so this purchase was more of a passion project than anything. Number 7. Blue Origin. Following in the trend of rich and powerful people being obsessed with space, we have Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin. Blue Origin is a private aerospace manufacturer and spaceflight services company established in 2000. Jeff Bezos started the company with the sole purpose of privatizing space travel and exploration. Bezos believes that with the help of Blue Origin, humanity could finally build a future where people can live and work in space. But what sets his company apart from SpaceX is their sustainability. Blue Origin is known for its focus on reusable rocket technology. The company has developed and tested various rocket prototypes, including the New Shepard suborbital rocket and spacecraft. Just recently, Blue Origin's hard work and resources allowed Jeff Bezos himself to blast off into space for a total of 11 minutes. A small amount of time on Earth, but worth millions in space. Number 8. Immortality. No amount of money could ever buy you a second of time. Or could it? Jeff Bezos has now reportedly begun investing in a company called Altos Labs, a Silicon Valley startup whose sole mission is to develop the technology to reverse the effects of aging. And no, we don't mean collagen serums. The company uses biological reprogramming technology as a way to rejuvenate cells in a lab and revitalize our health. The head of Altos Labs claims that the technology has since been successful when it comes to animal trials. Jeff Bezos himself has been obsessed with his own longevity, creating clocks that last longer than he could live to see, and working out to stay in tip-top condition. Jeff Bezos' investment in the company is a clear indication that he's in the race to attain what every other billionaire hasn't got: immortality. Number 9. Charity. As horrible as billionaires can be, it's also important to shed a light on some of their charitable contributions. Jeff Bezos, specifically, has established multiple charitable foundations to fund the longevity of our planet. One such fund is the Bezos Earth Fund. Established in 2020, the fund's mission is to address climate change and support the efforts to reverse the damage that it's already caused. Jeff Bezos has already donated a total of $10 billion and counting to the fund, all of which goes towards scientists, activists, and organizations working on climate-related initiatives. Another fund established in 2018 is the Day One Fund, a fund focused on addressing homelessness. Bezos committed $2 billion to the Day One Fund as well. And while these billions are impressive and go a long way to help the issues that we face today, there is still a lot to address when it comes to the sustainability of Jeff Bezos' billionaire status. Here's hoping he continues to distribute his wealth for the greater good.